Welcome to Baltimore Housing's Limited English Proficiency Training. This training is designed to educate you on the steps to take when serving a client or resident whose first language is not English. Under the Civil Rights Act, the federal government prohibits discrimination based on national origin and requires that any federally funded programs and activities be accessible to limited English proficiency individuals. A person with limited English proficiency, or LEP, is defined as someone whose first language is not English or who may have limited ability to read, speak, write, or understand English. According to a 2010 survey, nearly 7% of people residing in Baltimore City were born outside of the United States. Baltimore Housing is committed to meeting the needs of all of our residents and giving you the tools needed to effectively serve your customers. Baltimore Housing employees must use an interpretation service when assisting LEP individuals in any number of scenarios, including, but not limited to, walk-ins at developments, service centers, or any other Baltimore Housing facility, processing work orders, conducting home visits for any reason, interviewing applicants, administering recertifications, investigating complaints, receiving reasonable accommodation requests, and conducting Baltimore Housing business at any location. Baltimore Housing contracts with interpretation services with over 170 languages free of charge to the people we serve. Please use the following steps when using the interpretation service. First, determine the language that is needed by showing the I Speak cards to the LEP individual. He or she should point to the language if possible. Next, use the loudspeaker on your office phone or cell phone. Contact the interpretation service. If necessary, conduct a conference call. When prompted, indicate the language needed. Enter or provide the client ID provided to you. Brief the interpreter on the situation before beginning to interpret. Use the interpreter to ask questions, get responses, give instructions, clarify issues, check for understanding, etc. And be sure not to give the interpreter too many sentences at any given time. Instead, just give a few sentences and wait for a response before moving on to the next pieces of information. Make eye contact with the person you are serving as though the two of you speak the same language. Remember, the interpreter is also a cultural resource. If he or she identifies a cultural issue as a potential problem, the interpreter will work with you to help you better serve the LEP person. For more information on live requests, written translation, or any LEP-related tools for Baltimore Housing employees, visit the intranet and click on the LEP globe icon or access it through the Fair Housing intranet page.